All right, thanks for joining me. This video is going to walk you through how to turn an improper fraction into a mixed number. Okay, so when I have an improper fraction, that means that I have a larger number on the top and a smaller number on the bottom. And to be a correct mathematician, I cannot leave a fraction as an improper one. I must change it out into a full mixed number because I want to know how many wholes I have and what my remainder is. Okay. So there's a couple different ways to do this, and I'm going to show you those. So the first way would be to look at drawing a visual, drawing the pies. I've also talked about, though, when you are drawing pies, make sure that you're drawing pies when you have a smaller fraction like this. If you're getting really, really large, drawing pies is not an effective method, but it is a good place to start. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a pie. And I'm going to look at my denominator. And my denominator, again, is the number that tells me how many pieces my pie is split into. Okay, so if I made a cherry pie, I would split that pie into 3 pieces. And that would make my whole. Now, I know that my numerator tells me how many total pieces I ate altogether. So far, if I've made one pie, I only have 3 pieces I could eat right now. But I ate 11. So that means I have to shade all of these in. Because if I had 11 pieces, I definitely ate all 3 of these. So that means I have to bake another pie because, oh, Mrs. Farmer is just so hungry. She needs more cherry pie. It's her favorite. All right, so if I already eaten 3 pieces, I'm trying to build to 11, all 3 of these get shaded as well. 4, 5, and 6 pieces have been eaten. Oh, still hungry. We gotta grab another piece of that cherry pie. Split it into thirds to match the others. I already had 6 so far, so I know I have to shade all these in because this makes 7. 8, and finally 9. Now again, I'm still working towards 11, so it's another pie. So you can really see in this method that it's okay for smaller ones, but you could see how this pie drawing could go on forever. So be careful with that. So I had 3, 6, 9 so far, so I have to go to 11, so only 2 pieces are going to get shaded on this one. So I've represented 3 pieces, 6 pieces, 9 pieces, and then 10 and 11 pieces. Okay. Now when you're trying to convert it to a mixed number, now that I've drawn my pies, I'm looking for how many wholes do I have and what fraction is left over. So I have 1 whole here, this makes 2 wholes, and this makes 3. So I ate 3 whole pies. Wow, I must really love this cherry pie. It must be quite delicious. And then this pie was not completely finished. I ate 2 of those pieces, so that becomes my numerator. And my pies were all split into thirds, 3 pieces, so that 3 becomes my denominator. So 11 thirds is equal to 3 and 2 thirds. Okay. Let's look at this, though, a little bit differently for not drawing pies, because that won't always, like I said, be the effective strategy. Okay, so you can do this a couple different ways. Let's start with division. So I can divide 11 by 3 to find out how many equal groups of 3 fit into 11, because that's really what we did up here. How many groups of 3 could I make to get to 11? Okay, so I'm going to ask myself, 3 times what gets me close to 11? Well, I know that 3 times 3 gives me 9. So I'm going to subtract my 9. I'm not going to worry about borrowing here because I know that 11 minus 9 is 2. Okay, so this number here tells you how many equal groups of 3 you made, so that becomes your large whole number. I was able to make 3 whole groups of 3. Okay, my remainder down here, that's how many pieces were left over that could not make an equal group of 3. So that's my numerator. And then my denominator, 3, because my pies were split into thirds. So again, same answer, totally different process, a little bit quicker. But if you need that visual, go ahead, as long as it's not a crazy fraction. Like, you know, if this number was 27 thirds, I probably wouldn't draw this out because it would just take me far too long. Okay? So these are 2 different ways that we're working on in class. You could also kind of do this mentally. I know that some kids are kind of ready for that. You might even say to yourself, 3 goes into 11 how many times? I can do it 3 times. So you might just automatically know that I can do 3 whole groups of 3, and you might not need to draw it out. And then I'm going to know that 9 is how many away from 11. Okay, that's 2. And then I know my pie was cut into thirds. Doing this mentally is kind of, you know, a really high level skill and something they will grow into. It's not something I expect students to master, but when they start feeling comfortable drawing the pies and doing the division and multiplication, I think that this will start to form in many students and start to come a little more naturally and will really improve their number sense. I hope that this video helped you see how to turn improper fractions back into mixed numbers so we can really see that whole group. Thanks for tuning in, and if you have any questions, please let me know.